from Numancia, Aklan in Western Visayas in the Philippines. Let me see, make sure I'm online. I gotta make sure because you never know sometimes with let me just do that. Refresh my laptop here. I see three people, but on my screen here, it's not going live. It's amazing on my laptop anyway. I wonder why. Let me see. Let me press here. Try that. Oh, there it is. I see me on my laptop. So good morning. I'm having my morning cup of coffee here in my Coffee with Gino cup. Brand new cup. I had to change the design of the cup. Right there, it still says Coffee with Gino. It still have my trademark with the umbrella on Boracay Beach, White Beach on Boracay. But now I changed the logo. This is a logo courtesy of my friend Alan in Texas. I like the design. It says Dazzle TV with the flag of the Philippines. I kind of like, man, I wanted to change the design. So this is the new cup now. I actually had this made in Boracay Island. While I was in Boracay Island, I had a few of these made. I had like four. I think I had four of these cups made. So I just pass out these cups when I meet people. Kind of like my gift, to I'll never sell them. I'll never sell the cups. People that see me here, meet me in person. This is a gift that comes from me. Kim Manda, all right. Good morning, Gino and everyone. J-Boy, good morning, J-Boy. Appreciate you joining the live stream. Good morning, Brother Gino from Jokano. Ivana. Okay, I always have a hard time with some of the handles. Hello, Czech Republic. All right, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the live stream. I don't get many from the Czech Republic, so I appreciate it. Appreciate you joining the live stream this morning. Nice new logo. I like the flag. I do too. That's why I changed it. Before the logo. HD had made the logo before. It had a TV, like an old style TV with the antenna. You got that two antenna. But I kind of like the new flag, that new logo design on the cup. And yellow, the cup is yellow because my favorite color is yellow. The inside of the cup is black, actually. I don't know if you can see it. I like it how it has a color. Usually when you get cups here, it's just plain white. But I do like that the interior has a nice color to it also. Joe Cunningham, good morning to you from Pennsylvania. All right. I have friends in Pennsylvania. It's like people that subscribe, people that watch our channel from Pennsylvania. Brian, good morning, Brian. All right, I'm good here. Weather, I always start with the weather. Man, we were so blessed this past weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we were in Boracay Island. And man, we did not see a drop of rain in Boracay. So sunny, so breezy, perfect weather conditions because it didn't even really get hot in Boracay. It was like in the 70s. I think it might have reached 80s in the afternoon, but man, it was just a fantastic weekend. We had an awesome time with our friends Lawrence and Ellie and their kids. Their kids came along with them. It was just a great time. We thank them so much because they treated Dazzle and I to stay at the Hen and Lagoon, and that's not a place where Dazzle and I usually stay. We can't afford that, man. Hen and Lagoon is pricey for Dazzle and I. We're always just staying at like the budget hotels in Boracay Island. How's your puppy? Oh, the puppy is growing fast, man. Kal-El, our new puppy. He's 3.5 weeks. Gonna be 4 months. 4 months. March the 4th. Growing fast. But he's still tiny. I think he's one of those miniature Shih Tzus. but he's awesome. He's awesome. I'll bring him down later. He's upstairs. Right, we're trying to keep Totoy and Kal-El away from each other because Totoy goes outside. I walk Totoy outside, and right now there's like a parvo virus, an airborne virus for dogs. So I don't want to, Totoy catch it and then pass it to Kal-El. Kal-El doesn't have all his immunizations yet. The next immunization is March the 10th. March the 10th. So I'm not sure if that's even the last set of shots for Kal-El. So we're very protective. It's like Brian. Good morning, Ginu. All right. Hey, Rick Party's right there. All right. Hey, Gino, we're in Singapore, headed back to the Philippines. We're well. We just got back from Boracay Island. We spent Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Boracay. Our friends too. They were big. They've been here in Calibo since Atetihan. They also just came back to from Singapore, so that must be a thing. Come to Calibo, go to Singapore. And, that's awesome, though, man. Singapore is great, man. I've been wanting to take Dazzle back to Singapore. We were there in 2018. We just had a fantastic time in Singapore. Have fun. Safe travels, Rick. It's snowing again in Northern Virginia. Wow, just winter, right? The winter in the U.S. and lots of snow. Here, actually, Brian, for the Philippines, like for Western Visayas where we live, February has gotten more rain than I could remember. I don't remember February being like this. Usually by February, we're gearing up for summer. 1 March usually is the beginning of summer here. So I don't know what's happening, but we've been getting rain. Like even today, it's cloudy. Earlier, the sun did come up. I saw the sun a little bit, but now it's back to being cloudy here in Amancia. It says here, 24 or 74 degrees Fahrenheit. 74 degrees Fahrenheit here. It says here, rain and possible thunderstorms, especially tonight. So, that's just how it's been here. On the Pag-asa website, on the government, Philippine government, Weather Channel, there are no low pressure area, no tropical storms or anything. It's just the easterlies. They keep mentioning this easterlies. Easterly winds coming from the Pacific Ocean, northeast monsoon, that's kind of like the Amihan season is still going on. Basically from Albay, Sorsogon, Masbate, Northern Samar, Mindanao, the rest of Eastern Visayas, cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorm. So my brother Belus in Eastern Visayas in Leyte, they're getting rain. I mean, I know they got rain yesterday, so it looks like they're getting rain again today. Palawan, rest of Visayas here, we'll get rain here today. Metro Manila, rest of Luzon, partly cloudy with isolated light rain. So pretty much the entire Philippines is getting rain today, which is again unusual for the Philippines. Hopefully, once March 1st hits, hopefully we'll get nothing but sunshine. Kumusta? Lowell, kumusta from Oregon? Mabuti ako kapatid. God bless. God bless my brother. God bless my brother. Okay, I don't know what that symbol means, but it looks like a thumbs up. It looks like a thumbs up. I just got new glasses too. Same frame. I have the same frame. I've been getting like random headaches past couple of days. So I had my eyes checked. As soon as we got back from Boracay Island, I had my eyes checked yesterday afternoon. And my eyesight, it used to be 225. Now it's 250. Both are like 250. They use the same frame because I like this frame, man. This Dior Superflex, really light. It doesn't have like the plastic or on the bottom, just on the top. 1,980 for this is transition lens too. It's sunglasses when I'm outside, clear when I'm on the inside. So about $36 for the lenses only, and the exam by the doctor. Free. The exam by the doctor is free. They don't charge you as long as you buy your lenses. So I got to keep my old frame. This frame, when I bought it, it was like 4,000 pesos for the frame. I like it because it's super light, man. I almost, when I have my glasses on, sometimes I forget I have it on. It's so light. I can even jog, I can walk, no problem with this eyeglasses. I really like it. Michael, hey, Michael Manalistas, good morning, Master Sergeant. I think when we got cut off yesterday when I was on Front Beach, Boracay, I saw your comment at the bottom, but I lost connection, Michael. That's why I wasn't able to reach your comment. But I did see you. I saw you while I was on the beach. I was trying to share, White Beach in Boracay, but my data on my smart data, that's just how it is with smart data here in our province, here in Aklan. Doesn't matter where I'm at, Calibo, Boracay, anywhere in Aklan province. It's like hit or miss. Sometimes you get good signal, sometimes you lose signal. Sometimes it gets windy, you lose signal. Sometimes it rains, you lose signal. I don't know how that works. I'm sure it has to do with the infrastructure for smart. And it doesn't even matter if you're with Globe. It's the same problem. I can go to Calibo right now. There's areas in Calibo where I get good signal on my cell phone, but there's areas where I don't. That's why I'm not able to do a live. I've been wanting to do a live stream where I would walk you guys in Calibo because I like to walk. So not hard for me to just walk Grand Gaisano, the new public market, the fruit stands, the fish market. I would love to take you to all those places, but I don't have good cell signal, man. I cannot find a good cell signal. Globe, Smart, whatever. It's like maybe I'll stop by their office and see, but I have 5G on my phone. I got 5G on my SIM, but I just don't get good signal, unfortunately. Derek, aloha from Hawaii. You home? Yes, home from Boracay. It was just the weekend. We just spent the weekend in Boracay. Back home. Already took Leanna to school this morning. Had a great time. Had a great time in Boracay, man. Weather was just amazing. I even took my friend and his son, the three of us. I took him to Mount Luho. Mount Luho is one of the highest point in Boracay Island is Mount Luho, and there's an observatory deck. Many steps to get to the top, the very top of the cement structure, metal structure. So it's pretty sturdy. Little rusted. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little rusted. Maybe needs some maintenance. But back in the day when I used to go on top of Mount Luho, they used to have the observatory deck before was made of bamboo. That was scary. I took Dazzle there up one time on the bamboo structure, and never again did I ever get her up there because that bamboo structure would be like swaying in the wind while you're up there, man. She was like. She was mad at me when I took her up there. But this one is some cement structure, metal. You get to the top, just an amazing view of Boracay Island. You get to see a 360-degree view of Boracay, unobstructed. You see the whole island of Boracay. You realize how small or big, Boracay is. It's like, for me, it's pretty big. I think Boracay... Brian, I have noticed several of the vloggers saying how it has been cooler. It has, man. We have not, I can't remember if we've even used our air conditioning for the month of February. At nighttime, especially at nighttime, we just been opening our window. We have screens on our window so no bugs or mosquitoes go in, and they haven't used our AC, man. So my electricity bill this month, I'm sure, gonna be half. It's gonna be half the normal. My electricity bill usually 3,500, 4,000. That's pesos. So that's about $75, $75. So this month, I'm sure it might be 50 or 50 or 40 even. So it's going to be awesome. It just feels good when you're not paying for so much for electricity. Beluz, hey Beluz, good morning, my brother in Leyte. Overcast this morning. The sun did peek out earlier because on the way to school I was driving Leanna. She's going like, I think we're still gonna have flag ceremony because it was cloudy, but the sun was trying to come out. But now it's overcast also here, and expecting rain this afternoon and this evening here in Aklan. Hey, TechSpad, all right, brother, all right. My good friend in Galveston County, Texas. Hello, my good friend in Angeles City, Pampanga. Jokano, hey, Blues, the Leyte farmer. Yes, the Leyte farmer. The cowboy. The cowboy farmer of Leyte. Vaughn, Gino, the posse. All right, Vaughn. Vaughn in the house. Hello. Joe, hello. All right. Yes, in the house. The Henan. Oh, man. And the Henan's amazing, man. It's like one of the top end resorts in Boracay. If you stay at the Henan, man, it's nothing but first rate. It's like the bathtub in the hotel, in the bathroom. Rarely have I ever seen a bathtub here in the Philippines, man. Hot water on the bathtub, man. The whole place has got hot water in the sink, hot water in the tub. It's like usually you get hot water in a hotel here. It's that tiny unit by the shower. And it runs out of hot water pretty fast, man. Not at the Henan, man. I filled that tub like with hot water, and I was like soaking every day. I was soaking in the bathtub. They even have the bubbles. They even have the bubbles, man. I was like, feeling like a king. Feeling like a king. It's like I took a full advantage of that bathtub because I can't remember the last. It's been at least 10 years or more even the last time I've been taking a hot bath in a bathtub. It was just amazing, man. I felt so relaxed all the time, muscles loose, sleeping good. After you get out of the tub, you're like groggy and just hit the bed, man. It was just so awesome. Vaughn, what's the subject for today? All right, you know me, man. I try to have a subject every day. I got a little bit of news to report before I hit my subject. But my topic today, I've done a video about this maybe over a year ago, maybe even 2 years ago, where I talked about the things that no longer matter in retirement. And I'm going to discuss it. I'm going to discuss what, for me anyway, these are some of the things for me that I have experienced. I've been retired here now for 15 years, and some of the things that just doesn't matter to me anymore. But some of the news, I want to hit some of the more news item before I go to my topic this morning. There was an earthquake in Borneo, 6.8 earthquake in Borneo, and Borneo is pretty close to the Philippines. Actually, the Philippines, many people in the Philippines claim that Borneo belongs to the Philippines. That's how close they are here to the Philippines. But they had a 6.8 earthquake, but no tsunami threat to the Philippines. So I just wanted to because people, anytime you got an earthquake, anytime you have volcanic activity, especially earthquake underneath the water, things like that, you have to worry about tsunamis over here. Let me see, another PAL, Philippine Airlines just made an announcement starting February 18th. So now it's enough time. You can now travel with your small dog. You can put the small dog in the cabin of Philippine Airlines. So for us, that matters for us because, now we got Kal-El. And as long as the dog is under 10 kilos. So I don't think Kal-El will ever hit 10 kilos. So that's perfect. We already bought Kal-El. I already got a carrier for Kal-El. So that really works out. if you want to travel domestic flights nationwide under Philippine Airlines are now allowing uh, pets under 10 kilos, 10 kilos. Small dogs. Oh, it does say specific small dogs. So maybe they're not allowing cats because it does says here, passengers can now bring small dogs up to 10 kilos. So no mention of a cat. No mention of a cat inside the cabin. Inside the cabin. So good news for dog owners, like me. Like me. We got Kal-El, man. Kal-El can travel with us. Another announcement, Philippine Airlines. Philippine Airlines is very popular. A lot of people take Philippine Airlines in the Philippines. There used to be a direct flight from Manila to Surigao Island, and then also to Coron. On those propeller planes, direct flight, no longer available at Manila. You now have to catch those flights if you're interested in a direct flight to Surigao or direct flights to Coron in Palawan. You'll have to catch that now at Clark. The reason for that, they're just decongesting Manila Airport. Because Manila Airport, if you've ever used Manila Airport, I'm not trying to bash the Philippines or anything. It's got to be one of the worst airports in the world. It's just like, it's chaos, total chaos, delayed flights. Just not, I try to avoid Manila Airport as much as I can. So trying to decongest. So the smaller, let me see what size planes there. I just read this yesterday. The smaller planes such as the DHC 8400, which carry about 78 passengers, they're no longer allowed to fly. Philippine Airlines no longer allowed to fly out of Manila. You have to catch those flights now in Angeles City, Clark in Angeles City. Again, the reason they're trying to decongest the airspace in Manila. And people like those flights because when you take those flights, it's an hour flight to Palawan, maybe an hour and a half, maybe, and then or maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours to Surigao Island direct. You don't have to when you want to go to Surigao Island here in the Philippines, and let's say you're coming from Manila, and you don't, those flights actually are higher price, because it's a direct. Most people travel the non-direct route, where it's Manila to Cebu, Cebu to Surigao City, a ferry ride, like a 3-hour ferry ride to Surigao Island. Same thing with Palawan. It's a 1-hour flight to Cebu, another hour flight to Puerto Princesa, and like a 4 or 5 hour bus ride to Coron. So you can see the difference, right? It's like you practically, if you're gonna vacation in Palawan or your vacation in Surigao Island, you're gonna lose a day going and a day coming back. So if your vacation is 5 days to Palawan or Surigao Island, you're only gonna get 3 days because of the travel. Delays happen at the airport, and you're worn out, man. Because usually you gotta be in Manila Airport like 2-3 hours ahead of time. Your flight's at 8 in the morning. So you got to leave your house by 5 a.m. The traffic in Manila, it's like by the time you get to Cebu, man, you're already tired, It could be lunchtime or after lunch waiting for your next flight, And then when you get to like Palawan and when you get to Surigao City, almost nighttime, and then you still got to catch a ferry or a van, It's like, that's what I'm saying, man. It takes a whole day. Imagine it's the distance from Manila to Palawan, or the distance from Manila to Surigao Island. It's not that long a distance, but it'll take you a day to get there. That's why people like that direct flight. But now you can't even take the direct flight now from Manila. You have to go to Angeles. So from Manila to Angeles City, that's at least a 2.5-3 hour drive now that you have to take to just to inform you, because I know many people when they come here, Palawan, go to Palawan, go to Palawan, go to Siargao City Island. Okay, but just remember, those places aren't easy to get to. That's why I'm not really high on going to those places because man, we got Boracay Island. Takes me like hour and a half. I'm on the White Beach. You know, why would I torture myself trying to travel a whole day? And I've seen the beaches. You know, they're no better. You know, Boracay's always in the top 10 beaches in the world. You know, it's like I'm not missing out. I'm not missing out by missing out on beaches in Palawan or Siargao Island. Okay, last thing that I want to report about airports is the Bulacan Airport, the massive airport that's going to replace the Manila Airport to really decongest. It's the new Manila International Airport. This is being built by San Miguel Corporation. So this is not a government project. So it says here, on track to open in 2028. So we're a couple of years from opening the new Manila International Airport. And I believe it. When it's San Miguel Corporation, it's going to get built on time or even sooner because they're in it for the money. You know, it's a San Miguel Corporation. They're in it for the money. If this was a government project, there'll be delays. There will be delays, unfortunately. But here, the terminal will be built to handle anywhere from 35 to 100 million passengers each year. Gonna be one of the massive airport here in Southeast Asia. They're talking about it's gonna rival Changi Airport in Singapore, gonna rival the big airports here in Southeast Asia. So, you know, for people that are always complaining about the infrastructure in the Philippines, they're trying. You know, they're trying to build this is gonna be massive for the Philippines, massive for the tourism. They're building their railways. That way you can travel from the new international airport. You can go north to Clark, or you can go south to the old airport, or south to Laguna, that area. So they are building infrastructure here. So it's not like, you know, you can't keep saying that, you know, they're not trying. At least the Philippine government is trying to build this fancy infrastructure here in the Philippines. All right, daydream. Yo, SpongeBob on the back is really cute. Oh yeah. SpongeBob's been up there many years. That belongs to Dazzle. That was a gift to Dazzle by my friend from Hawaii when he visited us. So it's been up there all this time. James, good morning everyone. James and Karen from James and Karen's Adventures. Good morning, James. Hey James, how is Karen doing? One of the reason one must retire early in the Philippines. Vaughn, all right, Vaughn. Pinay Heart, hey brother Gino. Hi everyone. Don't MacArthur owned stock in San Miguel. Who's that? MacArthur? That I don't know. I don't know about stocks, or I know a Filipino guy, Ramon Ang or something. It's like the CEO of the corporation. I mean, San Miguel Corporation, they're not just the beer. You know, San Miguel Corporation is into everything now. They build airports, they build roads, they build bridges. They're like a big conglomerate now. It's like a massive company now. So I'm sure you can buy stock for San Miguel yourself. You want to buy stock on San Miguel. I'm sure they're listed. I'm sure they're listed in the Philippine Stock Exchange, maybe even in the New York Stock Exchange. Good AM, Gino. From Fortune, my brother in Bacoor, in Cavite. Good AM, Kim, J-Boy, Joe. Lowell, Michael M. Mom, the fan. Pointed fan. Thanks, Mom. Jokano, Morning Fortune. Good AM, Derek, Belu's, James, and Karen. Hey, Colonel, and sports fans. All right, Colonel. Good AM, Pinay Heart, and the Colonel. Hi, Kuya Fortune, Vaughn, James, and Karen, and Colonel. All right, Jokano. Howdy, Colonel. All right. Okay, now I'm going to hit the topic. Here. No longer matter in retirement. Now, this is for me. It could be different for anybody, but for me, this is just my experience. I've been retired here in the Philippines now for 15 years. Exact date is like next month. I arrived here in the Philippines March of 2011. And 2026 March, 15 years. It'll be 15 years to the day next month that I've been retired here in the Philippines. And it's been an amazing life. I've been very blessed, very blessed. But one of the things that no longer matter to me is accumulating things. That's the biggest thing that, when I was in the U.S., I was in the military for 20 years, United States Air Force retired. I worked active duty, United States Air Force. I was always accumulating things, even in the military, man. Every time we go in the military on an assignment, I got stationed in the Philippines, in Korea, in Japan, in Texas, California, Louisiana. Anywhere you go in the military, you're always buying or you're always dragging something from that place. Piece of furniture, a piece of souvenir, or even our military memorabilia. Military people know this, especially the ones that retired in the military, spent at least 20 years or more. Some people stayed 30 years in the military. You just accumulate so much military stuff, a shadow box with a flag, a retirement plaque. Every time you go from one base to base, they give you like a souvenir of that base, like a plaque with like the map of Louisiana, your dates when you stayed there. You just have boxes of stuff, coins, military coins, awards that you get in the military. We just end up accumulating so many things. A lot of times it was funny because, in the military, we move every 3 years, sometimes even sooner. Man, sometimes you're on one move, you box stuff, and next thing you know, you're going to another base. You haven't even opened the box. You basically moved one box to your next assignment. You didn't even open it. You didn't even know what's in the box anymore. That's how crazy it got. And you just accumulate so much stuff. And I wasn't going to do that, once I retired. I gave up all that stuff, man. I gave it to my family, mostly to my family, my friends. I gave up my uniforms, my combat boots, my service dress uniform hat. I gave it all, because for me, I wanted to start a new life. I didn't want to be burdened with material things. When I flew here to the Philippines in March of 2011, I had one suitcase, I had one backpack, and I had the laptop bag, to carry your laptop. That's all I have. And ever since then, and I'm always proud to say it, if I had to leave this house right now, I can still pack all the stuff that I need. Laptop, bring my laptop, GoPro now because I'm a YouTuber, one suitcase and one backpack. I never accumulate. There is nothing in this house where I'm attached to it. I can just, tomorrow if I decide to, hey babe, let's go ahead and go live in Boracay tomorrow. Start living in Boracay. We could do it. We can actually do it because I'm not attached. We got refrigerator, of course. You got that cooking stuff, one burner electric. We have a toaster. We got a microwave. But that stuff, I'm not attached to any of that stuff. To me, they're not worth a lot of money. It's like, I don't have plaques hanging all over here. I don't have decor. I don't have any of that stuff because, again, accumulating things no longer matter to me in retirement. In the U.S., you almost felt like maybe just for me, it's not a competition, but it seems like people accumulate stuff in the U.S. It's like the more stuff you have, it's kind of like the more stuff, the more you win. People have 2, 3 cars. Motorbike, got a boat, got like. Two people living in a 4-bedroom home with like rooms that they don't even enter, or have a memorabilia room or a man cave, and that's okay. That's just not for me. It's like, for me, my objective once I retired was not to accumulate things, or I don't want to collect material things. What I want to collect is, I want to collect memories. And YouTube has actually helped that, the past 4 years, because now we got over 1,000 videos on YouTube. Dazzle and I, there's many days where we're just sitting by the TV, going back when we first started on YouTube, or going back and watching our Bohol videos, our trip to a vegan, our trip to a Pagudpod in Iloilo, our Baguio trip. For me, it's like, I collect those experiences, I collect those memories. Those are more important to me now than any material thing I ever own. I do not have anything that has really like value to me. Like I'm not attached to any material thing. I don't even wear a watch. I have nothing. It's like for me, I just like remove that materialism that consumed me. I'm not gonna lie, it consumed me when I lived in America. I had a 3-bedroom house. I had a garage. I had 2 cycling, carbon fiber cycling bikes that were over $1,500 each. I had a mountain bike over 50. I was consumed with that same consumerism that is alive and well in the U.S. I'm sure it's still alive and well because I was part of that, but I wasn't going to be part of that once I moved here to the Philippines. Like, you can see how frugal I am. People always tell me, "Oh, Gino, you should get a drone. You can get drone shots. You should get the new iPhone 17." I got a hand-me-down iPhone 10 that I'm using. It's like I just don't want to be burdened by material things anymore. Again, I think I said it many times. I said it on another video. For me, I want to collect experiences. And the main thing I want to leave is, I want to leave a good legacy. I save money, so I'm able to help people in my life. It's like making sure Liana will have enough money for nursing school. I committed to Dazzle's nephews, the 3 nephews. They're like 12, 8, and 6. If it's time for them to go to college, I can send them to college in Calibo, because I'm putting away money for stuff like that. It's like, I'd rather save and have money for that emergencies in the family. That's just me. You don't got to do that. It's like everybody does their own thing. For me, that what makes me happy. That's the way I look at things. All right, let me see. I don't want to get too behind on the comments here. So let me... Ooh, man, the comments do go fast, man. I got to really go back far here. Howdy. Hopefully I don't miss anybody. Joe Cano was saying hi to Peanut Heart. San Miguel, all right. Fortune, all right, Fortune. Thank you, Fortune. Started in food manufacturing, but now they owned Ginebra San Miguel, Bank of Commerce, Petron. Oh, I didn't know they own Petron. And like I said, man, San Miguel be owning everything here in the Philippines. And Petron is like a big gasoline station here in the Philippines. There's Petron all over the country or so. They're even in the gasoline business now. Pure Foods, Magnolia, like more popular food thing here in the Philippines. Tollways. I mean, they're into everything. They're into everything. That's what I'm saying. It's like a big conglomerate, big corporation, San Miguel Corporation. Colonel in the house. Yes. But have a visitor at my house today. All right, Colonel. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Colonel. Appreciate that. Ken Thought. All right. Okay. Ken Thought. Okay. JBN. Hi, have you always power every time? Power? No, this is the Philippines. The Philippines, We get power. It's almost kind of, it depends on the time of the year. More power outages, electricity out during like the rainy season. You know, power lines get knocked down, typhoons. But if you're worried about electricity and power, just buy the, you know, I have a Blue Yeti power station. You can very reasonably price now the power stations. $200, $300 you can get a power station, but we do get power outages here. That's just part of life here in the Philippines. Coffee addict? I'm not a coffee addict. I drink 1 cup of coffee a day. For me, everything in moderation. I don't drink alcohol, I don't smoke, but I do like my 1 cup of coffee a day. So I don't think you can call me an addict for drinking 1 coffee a day, man. What is the capital of Spain? Ooh, good question, man. I don't know. I don't. If I had to guess, I'm thinking Barcelona, but I'm sure it's probably not, because usually the most popular city usually is not the capital. But good question. Good question. Bond, Colonel. All right, I'm gonna have to like put this one guy in timeout just because I don't know what can thought means. So I'm just gonna like put you on timeout because you keep repeating yourself, and I don't know what that means. I don't know. So timeout for 10 minutes. Timeout for 10 minutes. James, Jokano, Karen is bruised up. Oh wow, wow! I haven't seen any new video of James, so I'll have to check it out. I saw that you guys went with Jen on the motorbike. Karen and Jen was on the back, so I'll watch videos. I just got back from Boracay yesterday, and I stayed pretty busy with our friends. Of course, they were our guests, so we were taking them around Boracay, took them to Mount Luho, just entertainment. So I wasn't able to watch a lot of videos this weekend. I hope she continues to do well, James. For sure, man. It's Madrid. All right. Thank you. That would have been my next guess. I guess I was thinking Barcelona because of the Olympics in Barcelona, but good. Now I know. Now I know. That spill was scary. Glad she didn't get hurt worse. Oh, wow. I did not know that Karen, you know, I'm glad to hear though that she didn't get hurt worse, for sure, man. That would be scary. That's the one thing that scares me about motorcycle riding. That's why I have a sidecar on Bumblebee. I start my first time riding a motorbike ever in my entire life was here in the Philippines in 2016 when we bought our Yamaha scooters, even a scooter, 125cc scooter. And I would tried it on the road with Dazzle helmet, of course. We tried it. I just didn't feel safe. I didn't feel safe because I've never ridden a motorbike in my entire life. I've ridden a lot of bicycles, but motorbike's another story, man. So I ended up putting a sidecar on it, much safer with a sidecar. But now we have the Honda Click that we just purchased. I'm riding around on a Honda Click here in the subdivision practicing. I'm not confident enough yet to ride it, even just Calibo. I'm not even confident enough to ride in Calibo. Material things are just things. I don't accumulate things anymore. Yeah, right, Colonel? Man, it's like, and I think when we get older, Colonel, right? It's like, as I gotten older, material things aren't important to me anymore because they just break a lot of times, especially electronics. A lot of electronics, they never stay working forever. It's just going to stress you when they break or when you got to replace them. So, the more low tech I am, the better. The more low tech I am, the better, man. I purchase things to use for a specific purpose. Yeah, it's like that electric stove specific to cook, right? One burner electric stove, microwave, toaster. That's how I look at things too. But I'm not attached to them. I use it because we gotta cook, we gotta heat up, we gotta toast the bread. But if I have to like abandon them tomorrow, it doesn't. I'll just get a new one. When I move somewhere else, if I ever move again. Karen and Jenny crashed close to home on the national. Oh, wow. Wow, James. Wow. Man, I'm just glad they're okay. I'm glad they're okay, James. God was with us. I think they, okay, good, James. For sure, God was with you, man. God protected them, for sure. Captain Ron, did you have to go to the hospital, James? Anyone can use some material just for convenience. Yes. Having a home to heal is a tremendous blessing, James. Yes. Pinahart. How is Jenny? Okay. Man, I didn't realize they got into man. You know, that's scary. That's scary. Happens here in the province. Almost, you see a lot of accidents here on motorbikes. Glad they're doing okay. And for me, you know, going back to my topic, no longer matter. What matters to me is my legacy. You know, my legacy on this earth. You know, once I'm gone, you know, we're all going to be gone, right? And hope, you know, for me, I just want to have, you know, to where like even the nephews, even Leanna someday. I know I'm going to be gone someday, and Leanna's going to hopefully have a great life. I just want her to remember, right? You know, oh, my kuya really took care of me. My kuya was great, made sure I became successful. You know, I owe it to my kuya. To me, man, that is priceless to me. Priceless to me. That's why I help a lot of people. When they come here to the Philippines, when you come to Calibo, Boracay, Panay, you know, here in Aklan province, when you come here, I'm eager to show you. I'm eager to guide you. Hopefully I can help you have a safe landing here in the Philippines, because that's a legacy that I want, you know, because people that I've helped here, I know they're grateful to me. You know, Robbie, Ruben, JP, everybody that I've helped here, I know when we see each other, man, thank you so much, brother. You know that they don't even have to do that. You know, sometimes I just can tell. For me, seeing JP's happy face, I'm like, that's enough. Thank you for me, man. You know, it's like for me, those are the legacy that I want to leave. That's what mattered to me now. That's why people ask me, man, why are you spending so much time on YouTube? You know, helping all these people, guiding them, showing them around here in Aklan province, because that's the legacy I want. You know, it's like I don't want a legacy of material things. I want a legacy of people. Man, that was a good guy. You know, that guy helped me where he didn't even have to do that. You know, that's the legacy that I want. My motto for the longest time now is just be good and do good. It's always gotten me out of trouble. When I'm being good and when I'm doing good, it keeps me out of trouble. It keeps me busy, keeps me out of trouble. Even during my military days, that was always a motto that sits in my head. That in the military, people know in the military, a lot of people get in trouble in the military, man. You know, it's like there's so many things that you can get in trouble in the military. But I always knew if I'm good, if I be good and I do good, I'm always okay. Because like if I'm doing volunteerism, if I'm doing helping others, you know, that keeps you out of trouble. Keeps you out of the bars. Keeps you out of like doing bad things, doing bad things. James, Karen didn't want to go. She had a bruise on the right side of her chest, but no sign of internal bleeding or head injury. They were both wearing, oh yeah, you know, I always see them. I'm glad I always see them in helmets. Yeah, even James and Karen, they're always in helmets. Glad they weren't really hurt, James. Glad they are okay, for sure, for sure. We're everyone. I'm sure we're all like happy that they didn't get hurt seriously. Thank God they are all home. Yes. Joe Canoe landing on the soft shoulder a blessing of God that it wasn't on hard. So for sure, yeah, for sure. And Gino, all right. Thank you, Vaughn. Gino, the Pinay Posse knows you are a good guy. We have your back. Oh, thank you, Captain Ron. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Another thing that no longer matters to me in retirement, and I don't think it really mattered to me even when I was like still working in the U.S. But comparison, comparison, especially now, it's like before, even when I was in the U.S. You're always, it's not like you're comparing with others, but like when you see somebody, ooh, he just got that new thing, man. That I like that, yeah, I want to get one, I want to get one. I'm no longer like that, when I see people have cool stuff now, ooh, that's cool, but I don't crave it. I know, again, it's just, to me, it's just another material thing that can break or something, so, but I do remember when I was in the U.S., it's like, I wanted like all the channels on my cable TV, I wanted like football, I wanted the league pass, I wanted, because, I had a military pension, I had a good paying job at St. Mary's Hospital, I could afford it, I could afford it. So to me, why not, why not have all those things? And a lot of times, I've even seen it with the expats that I hang out. It's when we hang out, we talk about many things. We're not, so we're not comparing like what homes we live in, what cars we drive. A lot of times that was more, I think that was more when I lived in America. People were more concerned, maybe the age too. Back then I was a lot younger. I was 45 when I came here. Now I'll be 60 here in a few months. So I'm older now. So I just don't compare anymore. I'm content with what I have. It's like I don't crave having a newer car, a bigger home. I don't. So to me, as long as my life is peaceful, we're happy together. Dazzle, Leanne, and Mom, we're always happy. We're always like kidding around. The highlight a lot of times for our day is like when we eat together. When we cook something together and eat together, because that's our fun time together. But thank you, Captain Ron, for having my back. I know, man. I know many people have my back, man. That's why when I spent time with Lawrence this weekend, I feel blessed, man. It's like, that's never happened. It's happened before since I've become a YouTuber. But before I became a YouTuber, nobody ever like treated me on a vacation to a fancy hotel resort, because why would they? Why would they? But now there's people that appreciate what I do. There's people that appreciate the message that I try to put out on YouTube. And they said, man, and for me, I feel it. I feel that, people tell me all the time, hey man, keep doing what you're doing. Don't change. Just keep doing. And I don't. If you notice, man, I even look back to old videos, man. I don't change. Even the theme, the way I film, I don't get fancy with like music or anything. It's just me walking, talking. It's me live streaming, talking, answering questions. That's all. That's gonna be it. I might have added the news, like the weather. I might have added like the. What else have I added? Like the exchange rate. The exchange rate. People always ask me about the exchange rate. Let me see. Dollar right now, 57.99. So a little point, a little 0.01 to climb up back to 58. Still a very high exchange rate for the Philippines. That is still amazing for us that live here. And for me, the reason I think, like even when my friends, we hang out, we don't compare, we don't brag, we don't do that. We're just, I think the reason when I was with Lawrence, we were hanging out this weekend. I think the reason that, comparison, competition no longer matters in retirement, for me anyway, I think it's because to me, the plain fact that you're retired here in the Philippines, we have all won. We're all winners, because not everybody gets to retire anymore, especially in a tropical nation like this. Like right now, it's like bright and sunny. I mean, like now, the sun is coming out now. I'm not gonna like move the camera, but you can see like it's nice and sunny now. Probably around 77, 78 degrees now. This is February and we're getting sunny weather, breezy, not hot at all, like perfect weather. This is actually like perfect Boracay weather. I actually think come summertime, it gets too hot in Boracay. I prefer the breeze, and the sunshine and the breeze. Perfect weather. Fortune, real James. Hope, yeah, we're hoping and praying everything, and I'm sure they'll be more careful for sure. Sometimes it's just here in the Philippines. Like I'm super defensive driver. I'm a slow driver on a car and everything, but I've had some near misses, because people just it's pretty rough conditions sometimes where people just don't follow rules. There's you got to be really a defensive driver here, or especially on a motorbike. It's like I'm not even that confident to ride a motorbike, a single motorbike. That's why we have the tricycle, we have the sidecar. A simple life is the best life for the Panay Posse. For sure, Vaughn. Hey, Bill Meyer, prayer, Bill Meyer. A lot of times when my expat friends, American friends, when we hang out here, we're talking about restaurants where we ate. We're talking about, ooh, man, I found this really cool hamburger, simple stuff, We're talking about, oh man, I went to SNR and they had this thing at SNR. That's all we talk about, or, like James, he'll be, man, I went to Libacao, Manican, that view deck in Manican. That's the kind of stuff that we talk about. We don't talk about like, competition, like a comparison or competition. We're just enjoying our company, each other. When we went fishing, we're talking about fish. We're talking about fish, man. Another thing that, again, this probably, I have to admit, maybe when I was still in the military, it did affect me. Another thing that no longer matters to me is other people's opinion. I can remember when in the military, of course, you had supervisors, you had like your mentors, that their say in your career mattered to me at that time. But now, no opinion really, other people's opinion to me doesn't really matter to me anymore. I'm just living my life, sharing my life with you guys. If you don't agree with me, it's fine. It's like, if people agree with me, that's fine. I don't get like upset if, anymore. It's not that other people's opinion. I hear both negative, positive, more in the positive side on their channel, but sometimes I do hear negative. And when I hear negative, most of the time I just kind of like brush it off my shoulder, then just ignore it, because me, man, I'm all about positivity. The good people in my life outweigh the number. I would say 95% of the people that I've met are good, amazing people that want to help me, people that want to like be my friend, be my brother. Of course, there's always going to be like people that don't like you, and that doesn't matter to me. It's like the number of people that like me way outweighs the number of people that don't like me, and it doesn't matter to me anyway. If you like me or not, that's not my objective. Another thing that no longer matters to me is ego. When I was in the military, I remember it was always, you get promoted in the military, you become a staff sergeant in the Air Force, you become a tech sergeant. The highest rank I reached was Master Sergeant. But it was always like the minute you get promoted up a rank, then put stripes on your sleeve, you know, your arm sleeve, you're already preparing for the next rank. You know, it's always like in the military, it's all about the rank in the military. It seems like, you know, it's you're never really, you know, people. I mean, it's okay because people push you to get promoted. The highest rank, the more responsibility, and it, of course, it ego plays into part of that. You know, you hold power. You hold power over other people. In retirement, that no longer apply for me anyway. No longer applies. You know, I look at everybody as an equal in my retirement. I don't have to compete for rank anymore. Or even when I became a civilian, you're not competing for a promotion anymore. That's why ego titles, you know, in the military, it's not just a master sergeant rank. Top three, they call us the top three: master sergeant, senior master sergeant, chief master sergeant. That's the top three. It's important to be in the top three club. You know, it's like when I retired, I realized all that stuff no longer mattered to me because I'm retired. You know, it's like Bill Maher, it's okay to talk about China though, Gino. Yeah, once in a while I'll talk about China just because the threat of China, especially to the Philippines and the harmony here in Southeast Asia. But I don't let it consume me. I don't let that politics no longer matter to me. Actually, China no longer, it doesn't even matter to me, especially politics. That's always a hot topic, right? People always get like, you know, gets heated conversations when it comes to politics. Politics no longer matter to me because I'm retired. You know, it's like I'm living my life here. I'm going to Boracay Island today. I'm going to walk my dog after this live stream in the sunshine. You know, that's what matters to me. Politics is not going to affect my retirement here. I already have a pension, man. I'm waiting on my second pension. You know, that's what matters to me. You know, it's like that's why I don't get triggered with like comments on politics. Even China, if you mention China, I don't get triggered, Vaughn. You know, it's like you can put a smiley face, you can put a peace. Doesn't matter to me. Why would China matter to me? You know, it's like they're not feeding me. They're not giving me a pension. You know, it's like I do report them because when I see things that they are doing that might affect the security of the Philippines, the well-being of the Philippines, and I think they're doing a lot of things that aren't good to the Philippines. I don't think China is a friend of the Philippines. Ego is a great thing to drop. I still remembered when I became a sergeant and they told me I have to start yelling. That was craziness. That was craziness. That was craziness. But we have stuff like that in the military, right? You know, it's like you get promoted in the military. What promotion meant was added responsibility, added duties, extra duties, added pressure. It was added pressure every time you get promoted in the military because the higher rank you go in the military, you have an image to keep up. You know, if you're like me, the highest rank I reached was Master Sergeant. Master Sergeant is highly respected in the military. So there's a certain image. You can't be a screw up if you're a Master Sergeant because you got younger troops looking, you know, especially the young airmen, airman basic, airman one stripe, airman first class. They are looking up to you like, ooh, Master Sergeant. You know, it's like, how did you do it? You know, so of course, there's ego, there's things that comes with that. But once you retire in the military, all that's behind you. You know, especially once you retire here in the Philippines. You know, what does the military get? The only thing that matters to me that in the military, living here, retired in the Philippines now, is my military pension. That's why you can scan in my entire house. You can look at the drawers in my house. I did not have a single military memorabilia. I think my good friend Joel, he brought me a U.S. Air Force Medical Service service coin. I know it's in one of the drawers here. That's the only military, and my t-shirts. You know, I'm proud of my military service, don't get me wrong. That's why I wear the t-shirts, and I'm proud that I'm a veteran. But it doesn't consume me anymore where I got to display all my plaques, all my accomplishments in the military. That's my past, man. You know, this is my past. I don't have to live in the past. I live to today. I live to the future. That's not me. You know, that's how I look at things. Joe, the negative Nellies see that they can't bring you down to their level. So they move on to see if they can trigger someone else. So they can feel powerful and yeah. You'll never see me crack, man. You know, I've been doing live streams. You know, you'll never see me crack. Nobody's gonna like crack me here on. You know, I'll just click that button like timeout. I'll put you on timeout if you try to troll me. You know, it's like nothing bothered, man. Each day to me is a blessing. I'm just happy to be alive. I could have died 3 years ago when I was diagnosed with cancer. So to me, each day is just a blessing. You know, it's like when I wake up every morning, oh, thank God I'm still alive. You know, another day on this earth, man. And I don't take that. It's not even like a joke or anything. It's real for me because I know, man, cancer can come back to me at any day. You know, that's why I'm living my life day to day. I'm enjoying each day because tomorrow for me especially is not guaranteed, man. I've had radiation treatments. I've had chemo treatments, man. I've seen the dark side, man. It ain't fun, man. The dark side ain't fun, man. Captain Ron, Gino, it's not what you got. It's what you give. Right. It's not what you take from people. It's what you can give to people, right? Hey, man. I love that, Captain Ron. Life you choose. It's the life you live. What you give by Tesla. All right. What you give. All right. But hey, Castaway Dream. Michael S., my good friend, my brother from another in Dumaguetes City. The Duke of Duma, according to Fortune. The Duke of Duma. Yelling is not my thing. Ha ha ha. Yeah, it wasn't my thing. I mean, most Filipinos, right? Very rare, you know, even the military. I met many people in the military. I don't see many Filipinos in the U.S. military that were yellers. Good morning, brother, from Emilio. Good morning, brother. In life, we don't know how long we will live. So we should go to places that make us happy and try not to think too much about everything. What makes us smile? Oh yeah, man. That's the words to live by, Pinay Heart. That's words to live by. That's the words that I live by. You know, it's like I enjoy every single moment. Man, I enjoy picking up Leanna from school. When it's my turn I take her to school. But when I'm picking up from school, I enjoy those moments because when I see Leanna crossing the crosswalk, getting ready to she's so excited to tell me, Kuya, this is what happened today. I'm so happy to hear it. And she's smiling, but brightens up my day each day, man. Every moment like that for me is so precious. Fortune, good day. Yeah, there you go. See, I remember Fortune, the Duke of Duma, Good AM, Emilio. Good morning, Master Fortune. All right. Yeah, most of the retirees that I know here in the Philippines, man, you see all kinds, right? On Facebook, YouTube. A lot of times it's a negative that really people talk about the Philippines. A lot of times it's a negative, but to me that's a small percentage. You know, that's a small percentage of people here. Most of the retirees I know here, man, we are living amazing lives here. You know, it's like we're not living a life here of stress. You know, most of us live near the beach. Most of us are just enjoying our life with our Filipino partners. So, you know, don't think that, you know, because you see these videos sometimes on YouTube about, you know, some of the craziness that happens to expat here, that happens to everybody. That's What you see in YouTube is just a small percentage. Most of the expats here in the Philippines, they are living amazing lives here, quiet lives. Like Ted in Bohol. He lives up on a hill with a view of the ocean, view of Cebu, in his nice home with his wife and kid. Man, that's like, that kind of life. You just want to like, extend your life as long as you can and live a quiet and peaceful life like that. Belus in Leyte, man. He's got his balcony there overlooking the jungle. It's like, come on, man. That's the kind of life we're living here. Me, I don't live a plush life as them, but I walk my dog. I'm happy to walk my dog. I'm 10 minutes to the beach. If I decide, hey, I might want to have a picnic today. Let's have a picnic, babe, at the beach, at Navitas Beach here in Numancia. We ride Bumblebee. We go out there. We just, nobody's there ever. Especially on the weekdays. There's hardly anybody at Navitas Beach, only on the weekends. We can sit there and have a picnic any day we want. To me, those are the priceless moments in life, man. That's the meaning of life, Captain Ron. That's the meaning of life. Good morning, Mr. Hey, Lasita, my good friend in Maine, Skates and Geezer, my good friend in Ormoc City. Good morning, Gino from Skate and Geezer. From your, okay, I didn't know you were stationed in Barksdale Air Force Base, in Louisiana too, brother. All right. Concerning rank, I was only interested in the additional pay. Hey, we all were, right? We all were. I also retired as a Master Sergeant. I never threw my stripes shoulder. Yeah, me and you are the same, man. I think that's why I could have stayed in the military 20 years. At 20 years, you get 50% of your last pay in the military for the rest of your life. That's the retirement program I belong to. It changed now. They changed the retirement system now. But if I stayed, every year I stayed, I could have stayed another 4 years in the military at Master Sergeant. So I could have stayed another 4 years to 24 years. Those 4 years would have bumped my pension from 50% to 60%. And if I stayed longer, if I had gotten promoted to the next rank, stayed to 30 years, I could have gotten 75% of my last pay in the military instead of the 50%. But for me, the 50% at 20 years was plenty. I knew living here in the Philippines that my 50% of my last pay as a E7 Master Sergeant in the military was plenty to bring here to the Philippines. That's why I retired at 20. Because the stress level in the military just increases as the longer you stay in the military. It's just part of the military. The more promotions, the higher rank you achieve, the pressure is intense. Actually, the enlist, if you can look at it, you can Google it. For many years, I don't know if it's still the same, but the enlisted person in the military, not the officers. Officers, they live a cush job. But the enlisted people in the military, they are always in the top 5 of like the hardest or most stressful jobs in America. Kind of like, that showed the deadlift catch, those guys catching the crab. Enlisted military is in that same level of stress. And if you can imagine going through that kind of stress for 20 years and survive it, you're just happy that you're surviving. The military is a pressure cooker. Especially if you're a career military. If you're going for retirement in the military, it's a pressure cooker. Pressure every day, pressure to commit anything wrong or accused of doing anything wrong. And again, people yelling at you doesn't stop from, even if you get promoted, there's always somebody above you that can call you in their office and chew you out. That's just the military. It's like, unless you're the 4-star general, the highest rank in the military, there's always going to be people above you. And sometimes, unfortunately, there's a few people above you, like always pressuring you to do things. Not an easy job. The United States military is not an easy job, but very rewarding. For me, that's the one thing when I tell people you should join the military, you would do well in the military. One, we get a military pension at 20 years, right? I start collecting a military pension at 37, age 37. For the rest of my life, I have a military pension. And the military pension goes up every year. We have a cost of living. So it's not reducing the amount, it's increasing every year. So if for young people, I tell them, even just try the military for 4 years, especially out of high school. If you're 17, 18, 19 out of high school, the military will turn you into a man. If you're a boy, a kid, after high school, it will turn you into a man. The military will turn you into a man because you will gain responsibility. I always tell people, man, it's still, to me, even today, it's the best way to start. I mean, we don't get paid good in the military. That's the reason nobody stays in the military. That's the reason a lot of people do their 2, 3. I've known people that done 8 years or 10 years in the military and decided to leave because they just couldn't support their family during their active duty years. They just didn't look at the, far ahead, where a lot of people that have left the military, that are friends of mine, most of them, they tell me, man, I regret not staying, man, because I could have had a pension like you, Gino. But a lot of times people weren't thinking that when they were younger in the military, because the military don't pay anything. Not during my era. I was like E1, my first 4 years in the military. By the 4th year, I was at E4. E4 don't make any money back then. I don't know now. Maybe they make more money now. But I always had a part-time job in the military. I've always like bagging groceries, delivering for Domino's Pizza. I was always hustling because the military pay, it sucked. There wasn't much, during my enlisted years. So even as a staff sergeant at Barksdale Air Force Base, Kate and Geezer, I was a staff sergeant already at Barksdale Air Force Base, E5. I was bagging groceries at the commissary on my day off, man, because it wasn't enough pay, man. E5, and it wasn't enough pay back then. Again, maybe it's different now. Maybe they're getting paid more now. I've retired a long time ago. I've been retired now for 22 years. Actually, 22 years come next month. My retirement date was March 1st, 2004. So in a couple of days, I've been retired from the military, 22 years. Vaughn, well, I need a little stress in my life just to maintain, I guess. Well, it's up to you, Vaughn. I mean, we're all different, right? Like I said, man, for me, I try to remove all the stress in my life, man. That's why you see me smiling all the time. That's why you can text message me today. Hey, Gino, what you doing today? Let's hang out. Hey, I'm there, man. It's like last week, Kevin, I didn't never even met him. He was vacation in Boracay. He goes, Gino, can I meet you in Calibo? I said, yeah, sure. Come on over, man. Next day, he was with me. I'm showing him around Calibo. It's like, I like that kind of freedom. I like that, I'm spur of the moment. I don't, I'm not a planner. It's like, let's do it. It's like James all the time. James is like, hey, I got a video call from James and the Colonel. He goes, Gino, let's go fishing tomorrow. I turned to Dazzle, babe, you want to go fishing? She goes, yes, all right, let's go. Next day, we're fishing, like I said, man, I don't, I know some people, they like that stress in life. Me, I don't like it, man. Thank you, Captain Ron Pinay Hart, from our office weather bulletin. Southeast Luzon and Eastern Visayas affected by shear line. Amihan, the rest of Luzon, easterlies, the rest of the country. Yeah, pretty much the whole country today. You're going to get a little bit of rain. At least it's not like torrential rain or anything like that, right? Right, Fortune, it's just showers throughout the day. But I love it still, man, because it's cooler temperatures. This cloudy overcast, I'm thinking it's maybe 78 degrees right now, Fahrenheit. Man, you can't beat that. Good morning, Lucita from Fortune. It's not always bad, but if it starts to take over your whole day and drain your time and energy, it can affect your health. Yeah. I just try to do my best not to have stress in my life. I know it comes sometimes, it's unavoidable. Like, let's say I'm driving to Calibo. There's a nut that drives that almost hits me or something, or somebody just runs into the street and I almost hit them. Of course, you're going to be, oh, what the heck, but I try to like just brush it off. I don't let things bother me too much. I ain't going to army even the war broke out. Laugh, LMAF. I'm running. Hey, that is your right as a citizen, right? You don't have to join the military. But man, one thing I'll tell you, my 20 years in the military, I was never prouder of myself. When people in the military knows this, man. When we're wearing our uniform, combat boots, our fatigue, or BDU, our desert uniform, walking in the airport, man, there's no better feeling. Kind of like, how those old time movies where Kevin Costner, what was that movie? Where he was a pitcher. They're wearing suits and they're walking at the airport. They're like baseball player. They got that swagger. They're walking at the airport. Man, when you're wearing your uniform, you got your backpack, right? Or duffel bag. You're walking around the airport. Man, you got some swag, man. You're like people are coming up to you. Thank you for your service, son. Shaking your hand. And you got your chest proudly. You're just like walking like like a bad mofo in the airport, man. And, not many times in your life that you can have that feeling. And we in the military, we have that feeling. I had it for 20 years. I was in the military, man. I was proud of my 20 years in the military. That's why I wore these United States Air Force shirt, because you can't just have these. You can't just have the experiences that we had in the military. We are patriots. We defended the United States and we will continue. I don't care how old I get. If the U.S. asks me to defend it, I'm defending it, man. It's like, like I said, I'm a patriot, man. Let's go. It's like, bring it, China. One, it's not for the faint of heart, Marcus. I have a starter wife. Yeah, it's much more suited. That's okay, that's okay, Marquez. You can think that way. But everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I know most of my veteran friends, most of the people that serve in the military, we are proud of our service to our country. Proud to have put our life on the line for America. Me, I deliver pizza. All right, Derek. I delivered my first military assignment, Derek, was George Air Force Base in California, Victorville, California. And I was stationed there for like 3 years. The whole 3 years, the first year I couldn't deliver. That's right. I couldn't deliver because I was still doing my CDC. CDC for us in the medical field. You have to do your job. It has to do with your job, and you're not allowed to until you complete your training. Your training in the military. But after that, you can get permission from your supervisor and your commander to get a part-time job. And I worked for Domino's, man. I worked for Domino's in Victorville, California. I had a Chevy Chevette. That was my car, man. A Chevy Chevette hatchback, 2-door hatchback. I would put that Domino's lighted sign and I would deliver pizza for Domino's, man. I worked every day from 7 to 5 and then 6 till midnight. I would be delivering pizza for Domino's. Yes, my husband's military income wasn't enough for our family. So I had to work too. Yes, right in our heart, if I wanted to have a car in the military, I had to get a part-time job. I was riding my bicycle, the first few months in the military. But if I wanted to have a used car, even at that time, to afford it, you have to get a part-time job. It's like, and when I got that used Chevy Chevette, my mind was like I was going to use it to deliver pizza, so I can earn more money. Because, man, I remember I was E1. I came into the military, high school graduate, 17 years old, no college. After I graduate basic training, I was E1, the lowest rank in the military. My pay as an E1, it was low. It was low. You get paid every 15th and 30th. I think I don't remember now, but it wasn't much. I know I maybe made if I made $500 a month, I would be lucky as an E1, the pay scale. But, I get free lodging and free food. I live in the barracks. So free lodging, no electricity bill, none of that. And then free food, all I can eat. We had a dining facility in the Air Force. We don't have like a chow hall. We have a dining facility on a good food. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, even midnight meal if you want it. Takeout, you can get takeout burgers, takeout salad, you name it. I mean, they fed us well in the United States Air Force. So free food and lodging, basically. So free uniform. I don't have to buy clothes. So, but still, $500 a month. Even back in 1984, that's not a lot of money. So you had to get a part-time job. I would do it again, though. The reason why I have a house now is a VA home loan. Oh yeah, for me, like I said, I would have never been able to retire in the Philippines at age 45. Never. Without a pension. I would still be in America right now working till I can collect Social Security. But instead of that, I've been here in the Philippines the past 15 years. So retired because of my military pension. So, especially in California, in Hawaii. Silent viewer here because, all right, thank you, silent viewer. I appreciate it, man. And I know many people are silent viewers of our channel, and that's fine. It's like I'm just grateful for the silent viewers. Thank you so much for your support. When Amihan is gone by March, easterlies will dominate, and that will start the hot season. Okay, that's what I'm thinking, man. Fortune, right? By 1 March, we should see more hot weather. Maybe it's not all good. Maybe it's not all good because I am enjoying the cooler temperatures right now. No need for AC. No need for AC. Ramil, is it better to enlist so you get supply chain job or office jobs rather than to the battlefield? I mean, that's a personal choice. Ramil. Like for me, I worked in hospital. I worked in medical administration. The thing I like about it is you always work in a building, right? It's always climate control, air condition. You work in an office. I started working in the military, we didn't even have computers back in 1984. So we had typewriters, but it was still office. I remember specifically that the thing that sticks to my mind for some reason, back in the day when I joined the military, man, everybody smoked cigarettes in the office. It was common to see ashtrays, because the old school, the OGs at the time, our senior NCOs or the NCOs, non-commissioned officers, they're all smoking, man. They're smoking some red Marlboro, the heavy duty stuff. Our offices was always like a cloud of smoke. I remember. You don't see that now because they don't allow smoking inside now. But for some reason, it just like I wanted to mention that. But that's funny. I mean, if you're going in the battlefield, you're gonna have to, probably join the Army or the Marines. Not many people in the Air Force are battlefield. We do have some combat forward controllers, that guide aircraft to drop bombs. But not many. We have pararescue. I know we have but for the Air Force, we have very few special forces that go out in the battlefield. A lot of Air Force people, they work on the aircraft. They work in the hangar, guide the planes out, the fighter jets, electronics. That's why in the Air Force, you need a higher score on the ASVAB. ASVAB is like the military test that you have to take in order to join the military. And to join the Air Force, you have to have pretty high scores because a lot of jobs in the Air Force are technical, air traffic controller, electronics, especially now. I can even imagine now, you got Space Force now. You got all kinds of like really high tech, drone people that operate drone. I mean, it's just like more high tech now. So you have to your high school grades had to really be high up there. And then when you take the ASVAB, you get tested in like electronics, mechanics, math, a lot of math on the ASVAB exam. You got to score high on the ASVAB exam in order to be eligible for the jobs. Me, when I joined the military, I scored really high on my ASVAB. That's why the Air Force wanted me. But there were many jobs in the Air Force that wasn't open to me because at the time when I joined the military, I was only a green card holder. I didn't even have a secret clearance when I joined the military. When I joined the military, my first security clearance was called favorable. So every time there was a secret briefing, they're gonna post this is gonna be a secret briefing. I had to leave. I couldn't hear like secret stuff in the military, which was okay because when I joined the military, one of the purpose for me to join the military was to get my United States citizenship, and I did. I did. After 2 years in the military, I gained my United States citizenship, and then I got my secret clearance, and eventually I got my top secret clearance. Pinay Heart, we were living in Florida, and his rank wasn't up for us to have a good. I know. That's why Pinay Heart, a lot of military people. I've known military people. I've known a guy that went 12 years in the military and still got out. Imagine that, Pinay Heart. 12 years. You're only 8 years away from a lifetime pension. And they left the military because it was just the job itself was stressful. They were trying to raise a family, not enough money to support their family. Also, he started his military later after we got married. So we needed two incomes. Yeah. One, there is nothing wrong with working with your hands, Marquez. Cast away dirt. Your happiness and positive energy is a breath of fresh air. Oh, thank you, brother from another. Thank you, man. I prefer to focus on the majority of positive things than the minority. Oh, I do too, man. Negative things, just like, I just brushed it off my shoulder. When I see negative things, that don't matter to me. It's like, that's why a lot of people gravitate to me, I think. Lawrence, we had some heart-to-heart. Lawrence and I have been friends for a good amount of time, but we've never met each other in person. So when we finally met each other in person, our friendships just went to another level. We're like brothers now. I already felt like he was my brother, but now, man, I would do anything for that guy because like now we confirmed that I can confirm how he is. He can confirm how I am, Keep being you. Yeah, man. I won't change. Many people always tell me, man, just doing what I do. And if you look, and if you can even go back 4 years on all my videos, I really just I do things a certain way. Maybe my military training, maybe I'm just used to like order and discipline, doing repetitive things, doing the same thing. And I'm fine with that. I don't need to like, I don't need to add anything to our videos. I don't, my walking videos, I'll still, hey, I'm Gino, welcome to Dazzle TV. I'm going on my morning walk, and then I'll show you my morning walk. Then I'll talk about different topics. That's always going to be my thing, man. Hello from Arizona. Arizona, brother. All right, all right. I was a resident of Arizona from 8 years. 8 years I spent in Arizona. Before I came to retire in the Philippines, I was in Tucson, Arizona. Skating geezer. Agree with what you said about the U.S. Air Force. Although there were frequently stressful days, weeks, the pay wasn't good. We know that, right? That's why I think a lot of people left the Air Force and the military because, it was hard for some. I know, especially like, let's say, the high, air traffic controllers, you got your electronics that work, they know they can get paid on the outside higher, especially because, companies like Raytheon, McDonnell Douglas, those companies that build aircraft, they are recruiting you hard. I mean, the Air Force tries to compete by offering you bonuses to stay in. But those military defense companies, man, they are recruiting Air Force people hard because we already have a security clearance. If you're a civilian in the United States and Raytheon or McDonnell Douglas hires you and you don't have a security clearance, they have to spend a lot of money to get your security clearance. Security clearance. They have to investigate you from your high school life, from your college life, from your life, your criminal, whatever. They got to like make, they're not going to hand out a secret security clearance, especially a top secret security clearance, just to anybody. That's why they recruit you hard. They offer big bonuses. And, when you're like an 8-year staff sergeant or tech sergeant working for the Air Force and you're struggling with pay, you have a part-time job, and somebody's flashing you like a $50,000 bonus, $100,000 bonus, and then your salary all of a sudden goes from this amount to 4 times the amount. That's why. But they weren't looking at it the long term because, long term wise, if you're able to retire in the military, I've been collecting a pension for 22 years. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars that I've collected in military pension and still collecting. And then my medical care. I have medical care here in the Philippines. The military provides for medical care for me. I don't have to worry about not having Medicare here in the Philippines. That's why I think the military is still a good deal, man. Still join the military. Help the nation. Be a patriot. Help America. And often, TDY separated. It was a rewarding, and I'm also right, skating geezer. Nothing can, being a veteran, being a retired military, is probably my greatest accomplishment in my life. If I die now, look, if somebody, my headstone would say, retired United States Air Force, and I can probably be buried if I want to get buried in like a national military, Clark at Angeles City. I can get buried there if I wanted to, but that's going to be what defined me as my life. It's like what I accomplished in my life, and I'm proud of that. I'm not gonna, it's like people might downgrade it or whatever they say, man. Do your time in the military. Do 4 years in the military and start talking to me. Pinay, you guys are now retired, right? Derek, 30 minutes or less. 30 minutes or less. 30 minutes or less. Pinahar, yes, Wondermo. VA2, Ryan AP, Ryan, Okay, first in the 15. All right, first. I can't. It's been a long time, man. Now I receive my pension every month. So I couldn't think. I couldn't think right away whether did I used to get paid like monthly or bi-monthly. Bi-monthly. Thank you for that, Ryan. Pinay Heart, Vaughn. Yep, we got 2 houses because of the VA. Derek, Air Force was dormitory, Navy, the barracks. I've heard the term barracks also in the Air Force, but I heard more dormitory, yeah. Hospital dormitories where I stayed in the United States Air Force. You guys are on your way to living life now that you got that permanent allowance for life. If my husband had stayed in his office job, he would not have had the chance to travel the world, and he would not be receiving pay for the rest of his life. Yeah, that's why another thing, man, in the military, now that I'm older, traveling doesn't really excite me. It doesn't excite me like to travel the world. It doesn't excite me at 60. For one, it's harder to travel when you're 60, right? But I've done enough traveling in my life, man. I've been riding airplanes in the Air Force for many years on military helps, on official missions. I used to be part of a Clark, the C9 Nightingale, the medical evacuation of patients. So I've seen places in the world. I've traveled, when I was in my 20s, 30s, man, I'm traveling all over the world. I'm living in Japan. I'm living in Korea. I'm living in the Philippines. So to me, that excitement of now. Oh, why don't you go to what's that other place that just the cool places in the world, the Maldives. Why don't you go to the Maldives islands and all that? Travel here. You can do traveling. It doesn't excite me, man. Man, I've had enough time on aircraft, man, on military aircraft and commercial aircraft. I've moved around the world, It's not a thing anymore. If I died tomorrow and I don't see another country outside of the Philippines, I am fine. I've seen enough countries outside of the Philippines. Michael C., my brother in Trece Martires, in Cavite. I worked at Burger King on the Navy base. I know, right? Like I said, man, from my time at George Air Force Base as an E1 to even I was an E5 staff sergeant at Barksdale Air Force Base bagging groceries. I worked my first, I would say, 8 years in the military. I've always had a part-time job because the military pay wasn't enough. That's why it discouraged a lot of people back then to like stay in the military, because especially the ones with families, they're like, man, I can't even feed my kids. I can't even feed my family. But I hanged in there, man. I had the vision, man. I had the vision of early retirement here in the Philippines. I was going to do all I can to stay in the military because I was focused on having that early retirement. Even back then, a lot of it, what helped me was my assignment at Clark Air Base, because when I got stationed at Clark Air Base in the late 80s till the Mount Pinatubo in 91, I was there. I was a staff sergeant. In at Clark Air Base, working at the hospital, 13th Air Force Medical Center. When I was there, I met people like off-duty time that were retired Air Force at Clark. They were already retired outside Angeles City. Lived in Dau, lived in Clarkville subdivision, Timog subdivision, and I was looking at them like, these guys are in their 40s, early 40s, mid 40s, and they're retired. They had their own homes outside the base. They had the wife, they had maids, they have kids, they have maids, they had yard boys. And I was like, damn, man, these people are living the dream, man. They're like and they're enlisted retirees. So that I knew that, and I've met people like that when I was there. So in the back of my mind, I always thought to myself, I want to do that, man. When I hit my 40s, I don't want to be trapped in the US still working until I'm 65, now 67, right? For full retirement. You know, it's like, that's not the life that I wanted, because like at 65 or 67, and let's face it, you don't have that much time. You know, the average male American, I think, lives till 76, if you're lucky. And then if you're lucky at 67, you don't have illnesses. You don't have heart condition, diabetes, cancer, you know. So what quality of life, you know, what kind of, that's why in my mind, I always wanted to retire early. You know, it's like I was gonna do whatever I can to hang in the military and get that military pension. Fortune, good AM, Michael C. Yes, Vaughn. Forever thankful that my husband joined the service. And that is awesome, Pinar Heart. You guys are blessed. You know, it's like to have that income for the rest of your life. You will never become homeless. You will never have to worry about money. Especially if you come to the Philippines, man. You're going to live a great life here, man. You can have maids here, Pinar Heart. You can have a yard boy here. You can have any driver. You know, that's why I'm telling you guys, what are you guys doing in America, man? Come on down to the Philippines. You are better off here than being in America. Trust me about this, Pinay Heart. And I'm not just saying it. I know, you know, if you're getting a military pension and a VA, you got two pension, and when your husband turns 62, a third pension? Come on now. I've been living on one pension for the last 15 years. You guys got two. And Derek, when the Philippines first joined the Navy, the stewards, oh yeah, I remember that. Sangley Point in Cavite, a lot of people at Subic Naval Base, a lot of Filipino citizens. They're not even American citizens. You know, they let them join the U.S. Navy. That's why there's so many U.S. Filipinos in the U.S. Navy. A friend of mine actually calls it, even I don't know if I'm appropriate for me to say it. You know, they have the Filipino mafia, Filipino mafia in the U.S. Navy. You know, it's like I heard that there's like a strong Filipino military population in the U.S. Navy to this day, because it started with those stewards and those cooks. Me too, Pinay Bon. It was tough life because we weren't together for 12 years due to deployments. He worked nights and then next day as well. Paid off. Oh yeah, man, you guys, you know, Vaughn, Pinay Heart, if you got two pensions, man, I know you guys got kids and all that. Come to the Philippines, man. You shouldn't be in America, man. You could be just enjoying your life here. You can challenge yourself here by volunteerism, helping the Filipino people if you get bored, you know. But man, you can have a great life here. A lot cheaper. All the benefits are here. You got medical here because you're military. That when they join the military, they will go straight to the battlefield. Derek, same in the Navy. Not a lot of jobs open to Philippines people. I joined the Navy to see the world. Yeah, you know, for me, I remember that. And it was okay for me. You know, it's like when I joined at 17, I know not many jobs were open to me. But I'm fine with that because, like, I was just happy to have a job, you know, a place to live. They were gonna have a dorm. I had a roommate in the dormitory, free food, you know, a job. I mean, at 17, I was just happy, man. Send my son to Space Force. Haha. All right, man. You know, I know they kid around about the Space Force, like it's like funny, you know. I got out before the Space Force, but I'm sure there's people that are in the Space Force. I mean, they're doing some amazing things. You know, there a lot of Space Force activities, I'm pretty sure, are like the secret squirrel stuff that people don't know. You know, it's like we got stuff up there that can shoot down stuff down here on Earth, man. How awesome is that, man? It's like Castaway, I have the utmost respect for you, Gino, and the service members of the military. Aside from my mother and father, it's the men and women of the military that are true heroes. Love your patriotism. I know, man. I'm always, man. I will. I've been retired 22 years, but I will always be a patriot, man. America has given me so much, allowed me this life here in the Philippines. That I can just enjoy the rest of my days. America gave it that life, so I'll always be grateful. That's what I say, man. It's like if I have to like pick up a gun again, pew pew, yeah, pew pew. If I have to do that again and defend America, I would be happy to, man. You know, it's like I think I still got some skills. You know, I'm not dead yet. You know, I'm not dead yet, man. You know, it's like I can help with the resistance if something happens. And there needs to be a resistance here in the Philippines against China. I'll be more than happy to do that. I'll be more than happy to be part of the resistance. I think I got enough skills that I learned in the military that they can still use. Derek, I retired from the Navy after 20 years. I worked as a government contractor in Hawaii for 6 years with a top. Awesome, man. Awesome. That's Derek. That is why you can afford Hawaii, right? That's why you can afford to live in Hawaii because you got a pension from the military, you got a pension from civil service. That's why, I know it's not cheap to live in Hawaii. You know, not many people can afford Hawaii. I know that's why you're there because you worked hard, served your country, and you deserve everything that is owed to you by your country. Income, healthcare, and home ownership are the three things you need to have a good life in America. VA requiring military service provides all three to veterans. I would encourage my kids. Oh yeah, for sure. You know, it's like if any, my friend Tim, he hasn't been here in a while. His stepson from here in the Philippines took him to Las Vegas. His stepson just joined the military, and he's so proud. And then I was pushing him for that. He's like, I told him, man, his son just graduated high school, stepson. He's like 18, and I told him, dude, put that kid in the military. That will teach him, man. It will make him a man. So now he's headed to boot camp, man. If I had a son at 18 years old, 17, 18-year-old, military is the best thing for him. Even better than college. The 4-year college, the military, 4 years in the military will teach you more about life, about leadership, more than 4 years of college. 4 years of college, man, I've seen some of these college students, man. Some of them aren't studying in colleges. Some of them are partying in colleges, 4 years in the military, you can't party in the military. Your first 4 years in the military, you're like the lowest rank. You're going to be used and abused by the military, but it's good for you. It's good for you because you're going to do tasks that, cleaning toilets, yard work, picking up trash, labor, manual labor, but it makes you tougher. There, commissary backers work for that's where I did, man. Derek, we had an apron. We had to wear an apron. We had our name tag, and we worked for tips. We had a head bagger. The head bagger, he actually collected money from us in order to bag groceries. It's a small amount. It's like $1 or something. But we had to pay the head bagger because he's in charge of making sure our bags, the brown bags, the carts, kind of like a leader. We elected him. We elected the head bagger. But we all worked for tips, and man, I was making good tips in working at the commissary because, especially, at the time I was a staff sergeant when I was at Barksdale Air Force Base. The hospital people, I worked in the orderly room when I was the NCOIC of the orderly room at Barksdale Air Force Base Hospital. Orderly room is the HR, basically. HR, they get their leave from me. They get anything that to do with their personnel records. I did all at the time, the Air Force had I had to weigh people. There's a weight management, fitness training. I was in charge of that as being the NCOIC or the orderly room. So that was my job. So the over 600 people that work in the hospital, they all knew me. So when they see me, they come and say, hey Gino, they're like, they asked for me to like bag their groceries because they wanted to give me a good tip, because, we're hospital people, we're brothers, we're sisters, So I made good money. We're, all for tips, man. It's like great money, great sideline. And you're not on the clock. You don't have, when you're a bagger at the commissary at the time, I can work, if I get off work at 5 and the commissary store is open till 8 or 9, I can work those few hours. On the weekends, from open to closing, I can work, or I can work half day. It's just up to me how long I work. So if I had something to do, I can just work half days, take my tips home. Good morning, Gino, John Vasquez, Castaway Drift, good morning. Pinay Heart, looking forward to that day, Brother Gino. Oh yeah, you're already there, Pinay Heart. You don't even know it. You're already at retirement. You've done the hard part. Your husband has, both of you have done the hard part. It's just a matter of like getting rid of your stuff in the U.S. or settling your affairs in the U.S. and you can be here in the Philippines. It's just enjoying the rest of your lives here without any pressure at all. Just traveling, man. With the pension you guys got, you can travel to the Philippines. You can travel Southeast. I know you're worried about your son because he's got autism. You can hire private tutors here. You can have private people to care for him, to assist him better than what you'll ever get in the U.S., man. People here in the Philippines care. You know how Filipinos are. You know how Filipino people are. Very caring people. Hubby is finishing his degree for woodworking degrees. We wanted to bring jobs to the Filipinos someday too. Yeah, it's like, man, you can do so many things here in the Philippines, man. You can build them, whatever there's nothing, if you put your mind to, there's so many, like non-profit organization you can involve with anything. You could be a spokesperson for autism. You could do so many things here to help humanity and help the Philippines. And Michael C. LOL, I still have my leave and earning statements, and we made no money. I know, man. I know we didn't make no money back then, bro. It's like E1, E2, E3, man. That would be funny if I can Google it, right? I can Google 2004. How much did a E1 make? And I'm sure I'll laugh. How much money I made a month, man. Let me try it. Since I'm talking about it, let me just Google it. It's like, because I'm sure it'll pull it up. How much did an E-1 military make in 2004? Right there, man. To see how much, if the E-1 military rank, basic pay, permanent. I don't think this is correct, but let me see. 2004 military pay scale. Here we go. I'm gonna bring up the pay scale in 2004 military pay scale. I'm curious now because I know it's got to be funny how much military pay chart. Man, it's got all these commercials. I can't get to it, man. All right, okay. It has it here by years. All right. Man, it's all down to 2000. Okay, there it is. Well, actually, mine should be like 1984. So here, by the time I retired, 2004, I don't think you go. Let me do this again. I made a mistake. I was thinking 2004. I joined the Air Force in 1984, man. That's even later, man. Let me see. Go Google. I'm a fast typist, but my mind just doesn't work as fast. How much did an E1 in the military make in 1984. 1984 is when I joined. That was a mistake. I put 2004 and I said, "Woo, I didn't make that much money." $596 as an E1 airman, a basic military pay. That's before taxes. That's before taxes. I made $500 a month, E1 in 1984. Your husband will appreciate it, Pinay. Hey, Albatos, Lawrence, good to see you. Good to see you, my brother. Good morning from Parañaque. Wonderful week. Oh, it was awesome, man. Life is good. Life is good, man. I know I have a brother in you, Lawrence. That was awesome, man. I'm so grateful. So grateful for this past weekend. Gives me like the fire, man. You can see I'm kind of fired up this morning, man. I'm like, gives me the fire to do even better in YouTube. You know, be a more positive force, man. You're inspirational. Your stories, our conversation, Lawrence. Thank you so much, brother, man. It's like it really reinforced why I do YouTube, why I help people. Our time together. I appreciate it, my brother. Yes, Pinay Heart, absolutely. Let him finish that. I am tremendously excited for you and your hubby. Enjoyed our I know, man. Lawrence and I, we just sat, we just like talked while we were in Boracay the whole time, man. I just enjoyed that. Enjoyed that very much, Lawrence. Thank you, Vaughn. He is using his VA benefit called, VRE. Man, use all that benefits, right? I used the GI Bill here in Calibo for 4 years, man. I went to college because you get paid. You get E5 right now. If you haven't used your GI Bill yet, if you're a veteran and you haven't used your GI Bill, come to the Philippines, man. Use that GI Bill over here, man. You will make, if you're here using your GI Bill, you will make that for overseas people that are studying overseas on their GI Bill. It's a E5 housing pay. It's standard. It's over $2,000 a month for 9 months out of the year is how much you'll make here in the Philippines studying here. And believe me, $2,000, you're not gonna pay that for housing. If you pick a place like Calibo, man, you might pay $300, so you're pocketing over $1,700 every month for 9 months. You even have a book stipend for your books. You know, you get $1,000 book stipend every year. So if you haven't used your GI Bill, man, use it here. Use it here in the Philippines. For people in the VA, use your VRE here in the Philippines. I know many veterans here, many VA people using their GI Bill here and VRE here in the Philippines. Many schools here, many schools in the Philippines. Built his own business there. Great plan, Pinay Heart. Would moving back to the Philippines, but instead of pension, take over family day tour business instead in Palawan, stay in a stressful house, so no rent. We do have 2 kids still. I mean, there's many ways you can do it. I mean, for your plan, Romil, if you're looking at, here in the Philippines, many people, even here in the Philippines, many people are homeschooling their kids, if that's an option, But I do know, Romil, many people now, especially Filipino Americans, especially like Vaughn's Filipino American, Pinay Heart, Filipino American. A lot more are bringing their kids back here in the Philippines to raise their kids here. I know that for sure. My friend Ivan, my friend Jeremiah, they're doing it. They're not afraid to raise their kids here. People always say, well, you're not giving your kid the opportunities here in America and all that. I'm like, dude, don't you forget Vaughn's kids, Pinay Heart's kid, they're American citizens. They can get all their education that they want to get here. They can become a doctor here. You can afford nursing school here. You can afford doctor school here in the Philippines if your kid wants to pursue that. And they're American citizens. Once they graduate here, they can go back to America and make their money there. So, for me, I don't understand that logic to where better education in the U.S. Than in the Philippines, My elementary school years were here in the Philippines, Letron College in Manila. And I went to Long Beach Wilson High School, public school, 4 years high school. My education here in the Philippines way trumps when I got educated. Public school system in the U.S. now, from what I'm hearing, is not the very best, right? It's like and how many people can afford private schools in America? You got to have some money to afford private school in America. And public school in America is, in many ways, are getting dangerous, right? It's like too many school shootings going on now in public schools, man. So you're not, a lot of people sometimes will discourage you, will tell you you're doing your kids a disservice by bringing them back to the Philippines. I do not think so, man. They're going to grow up here in a better environment. They're going to grow here with relatives that love them, teachers that love them. But to me, it's not even a question. If I have a kid in the U.S. right now and I could retire, if I had a choice of the Philippines or the U.S., I would bring them here, man. They're not at a disadvantage by raising your kids here. Man, I might have to do a video about that. My next video, I'm going to make a long form video about raising your kids here in the Philippines. Thank you for that, Ramil. You just gave me an idea, because I keep hearing these people saying that it's still better for you to raise your family in America. Kids, better for you to raise. Man, they're kids in America now. They're going through so much stuff, man. There's so much stuff going on in America, man. And if you're a Filipino American, let's face it, Ramil, Bon, Pinay Heart, it don't matter if your kid is born in America. In many people's eyes in America, they're Filipino. They're still like some of them will look at us like you're a migrant. They don't look at us as American citizens. And that's understandable, because even though we're citizens of America, we look Filipino. We look Filipino, man. I did not retire active duty, but finished my time in the Army Reserve that pays out at age 59. Okay, all right, Vaughn. My civil service retirement starts at 57, so that's my mandatory retirement age. All right. Where they have kids with autism will not even move here. They will choose to live there. It's expensive to get service and get extra help. The best thing you and your husband are doing to yourselves right now is ensuring your legacy. What you guys are doing now is legacy building. Giving Filipino jobs is a great legacy. Yeah, giving Filipino jobs is a great legacy, Van. 100%. But you have to be very, very careful about that too, because one thing about running business here in the Philippines, it is complicated as heck, man. It's not the same in the U.S. We experienced it a little bit when we had the Resto Bar in Sambiray, Malay Aklan, across Boracay Island. Business here, running a business here, dealing with people here, dealing with employees here. A lot of stress. So put that in mind, Pinay Heart. Business sounds good, but business is work. Probably more work than working a 9 to 5. Because if it's your own business, you're going to put more effort to that business than a 9 to 5 just a tip, it's like, for me, the amount of money that you guys are making, man, I would just enjoy retirement, spend time with your kid. If your husband wants to help Filipinos, many things, volunteerism that you can do here to help Filipinos, A lot of times, the thought, like for us, we help people, we employ people, but a lot of times, not all people are grateful, unfortunately, and you might experience that even where you help, and not all appreciate your help. So just a tip from somebody that experienced a business here in the Philippines. Awesome, Pinay Heart. There was a blogger that posted a woodworking Filipino that made all sorts of furniture in a woodworking mill. I'll try. Oh man, speaking of woodworking, man, Pinahart, contact me. I got relatives. These are my close relatives in Bulacan. My favorite relatives, man. And they're in the I think I've messaged you with it. They're in the woodworking, furniture building, door building. I can introduce you for them. They're like my best. I'm proud of these relatives, man. They're like great people in the province, man. My relatives in Bulacan are like the kindest people, honest people, happiest people you'll ever meet, man. You were gonna love them. Your husband's gonna love them if I introduce you to them. Derek, in 1981, when I joined the Navy, the base pay was $501. Wow. Yeah, I was just looking it up. Mine in 1984 was 596. I trump you by $96, man. 4 years later, I made $96 more than you, Derek. Awesome, blossom, Captain Ron. Pinay. Thank you, Captain Ron. Kuya Gino has... Yeah, see. Two that my husband can visit and will learn from them. I finished but business management in the Philippines. Maybe I'll be able to apply that degree finally. Finally, hey. Just be careful, Pinay Heart, what you wish for. Like I said, business here in the Philippines is a different animal. It's very stressful. Any business you enter here is very stressful. Competition, rivalry, and then there's always going to be people not wanting you to succeed. Unfortunately, that crab mentality that Filipinos have. So be careful what you wish for. For me, man, with the money, the 2 pensions you're bringing here, just enjoy retirement. Enjoy your life. Spend time with your kid, man. Helping people, you can help people here without owning a business here, man. It will just watch other vloggers that's even open a business here, man. They all of them struggle. All of them, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I ended up working as a teacher in the Philippines. I don't know how I used the degree at the time due to high competition. My Jackie gets an office. My Jackie gets an office. One. I'll hire people and train them. Less stress for me. Yeah, I'll leave it at that, Pinay Heart. But I think for me, it's like when I retired here at 45, I had no plans on working. I left working behind me, man. When I got here at 45, I was just here to enjoy my life. But I've done volunteerism at Leanna School. I've done participate. If you had that thing in you where you have a need to help people, you can help many people here. Yeah, but a business, I would not recommend it. I would not recommend opening a business here. Hi, Gino. In 1984, a Toyota Corolla or a Chevy Chevette had a base price. Mine wasn't a brand new. A 1984, no. My Chevy Chevette, I think, was 1980. It was a 4-year Chevy. I bought it from inside the base. What was that thing? Lemon Lot. They had a Lemon Lot, and a guy that owned it was going PCS overseas, and he was like, he gave me a good deal. I think he was a captain. He was like, really gave me a good deal because I told him what I was going to use it for. I told him I wanted the Chevy Chevette. I was going to use it to deliver pizza. I want my kids to have a well-rounded experience in life. It's better than any college course in America. Too materialistic here in the U.S. Ramil, thanks, Gino. Love you, brother. All right, love you, brother. Love you, brother. Got great topic idea for a future live stream to discuss, Gino, about youth and education here in the Philippines. You got it, Michael S. I'm going to work on that video. Youth and education here in the Philippines. The advantages of like sending your kids here, sending American kids here in the Philippines. I will work on that video for sure. Our kids are attending international baccalaureate school here in the Philippines. Same international standards as Europe and the US. No way would I raise and educate my kids. And see, Lawrence thinks the same way I am, man. That's why I laugh almost, when I hear people, I'm not an argumentative type of guy. So when somebody tells me, why are you bringing your kids to the Philippines? They'll have better education in America, better opportunities in America. And I just smile. I'm not an argumentative, but I know they're wrong. I know they're wrong. It's like they're gonna get better education here, and the opportunity. They're American citizens. They can go to America anytime. It's like, Captain Ron, you can manage your husband's woodworking business since he knows what kind of furniture expats want. Everything happens for a reason. We just have to wait so that we can see it with our own eyes. If the US is better in the medical field, why do many Filipino nurses continue working in healthcare here? A large number of them are Filipino compared to the number of people here. If the US is better in medical field, many Filipino nurses continue working here. Here, like in the U.S. In the U.S., I'm confused. Like a large number of them are Filipino compared to the number of people here. Used to do 5 to 9 days. Okay, Bon. Hey, Mr. Shipwreck. Hello. Lemon lots, baby. Lemon lots, baby. JP, just a question, Kuya. Do you rely on your pension for living in the Philippines, or do you have other sources of income? No, strictly military pension alone. I have one pension for United States Air Force. I came here when I was 45, 15 years ago. I strictly rely on my pension. What really helped me actually is when I arrived here, I simplified my life. I live within my means. I have an allotment since I got here to the Philippines. Way back in 2011, I set an allotment that takes money out of my pension, $500 taken out of my pension, and gets deposited in an account in the United States. So I don't even see it. I've been living on my pension minus the $500. And even what's left of my pension, I'm even able to save with that money because, again, I live below my means. For the first 4 years I lived here in the Philippines, I didn't even have a car. I had a mountain bike, and I rode my mountain bike everywhere. I didn't have to worry about car payment. I didn't have to worry about car insurance because there's public transportation. I could ride my bicycle anywhere. So I just learned to live. And the longer I've stayed here, my budget has stayed the same. Even moving into this house, this house right here, it's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. When I purchased this house, it was a 1.5 million pesos in a gated community, $25,000, right, in 2015. 15-year loan. Now we're in 2026. I only have about 4 years left to pay off the house. Then all clear. No, my mortgage on this house, Banco de Oro, $200 a month. That's why I'm able to budget because like my housing for the last 10 years have been fixed. I can budget really well because and nothing breaks in the house. This house is so tiny, everything's cement. What can break here? Nothing. No repairs needed on this house. Maybe the kitchen sink might get clogged, or maybe a leak here, a repair, but minor repairs. Property insurance, property tax. I don't have to pay property tax until I have the title from the bank. I don't have to pay. There's no and even when that time comes, even when the property tax comes, it's hardly nothing. Property tax here in the Philippines is so minor, man. What is that? Homeowners, that insurance, housing insurance here, I pay less than I think how much? 5,000? Not even 6,000 pesos. Not even like maybe $100 a year for like fire, earthquake, whatever insurance. If there's and nothing's happening in this house, man. If something happened, we've had earthquake. I've had like maybe 2 earthquakes since I lived in this house. A solid house made of cement and rebar, man. Investments, as far as investments, I don't really believe in investments anymore, JP, as far as stocks. I used to participate in stocks when I was in the US, but I didn't want to be like watching stocks anymore. My investments are in time deposit. Deposit in the bank where it's guaranteed to even just stay the way it is or make a little. It's like we bought land in Katik land. That's an investment, right? We paid cash for the land. I wouldn't call my vehicles an investment, terrible investment, but I paid cash for the Toyota Wigo. So financially, I'll never struggle here because again, I live within my means. I'm not luxurious. My t-shirts, a lot of these t-shirts are given to me. My board shorts are like ukay ukay. Dazzle buys $2, $3 ukay ukay shorts for me. I wear flip-flops. I don't own anything. I don't buy anything, so I've just learned to like I said, material things don't matter to me. It's memories, experiences, friendships, man. My friendship with my brother Lawrence now, man, that's what matters to me. That's the legacy of, all the stuff that you carry with you, all the material things that you have, you think that makes you cool and makes you like, man, I used to drive a Mustang. I used to have a garage full of stuff, toys, electronic toys. Those things never made me happy. They make you happy maybe for 1 or 2 months when you initially get it, right? When you initially get it, ooh, damn, I'm riding a nice, my Mustang. Let me open my moonroof, just like you're like living the dream, right? But after 1 or 2 months, 3 months, it loses its fire, For most people I know it loses its fire. Kuya Gino, more Filipinos can handle the jobs here better than the people who finished their degrees here in the US. Filipinos, oh yeah, right? That's why Filipinas, are well known for nursing. Most people I talk to, they're happy when they're nurses of Filipina because they know that Filipina is going to be caring. They know that Filipina has been through something in their life, especially the ones that are coming from the Philippines to go to America. They appreciate it. They appreciate being in America. A lot of times, the ones that are living in America, that become a nurse in America, they don't appreciate being in America. They're entitled to it, right? They're like, I'm American, It's like, who are these Filipinos from the Philippines? Where's the Philippines from? It's like, that's the way they, that entitlement that is in the U.S. Filipino nurses, I know that come here, when they go to America, they are just so grateful. They're grateful that they made it to that, many steps to get to America as a nurse. So they're just happy to be there and gonna work hard. It's like be caring to their patients, thankful for their job. Patients and lots of medical doctors we have here are not even from USA. I don't think the Philippine education is behind. No way, man. You can talk to Fortune. Convince Fortune that the education here in the Philippines is behind. Fortune's a genius, man. He graduated from the Harvard of the Philippines, University of the Philippines. Those are some smart people coming out of that school. Some of because they're not here. They're not here, Pinay. That's why they're worried about education here. Man, there's so many private schools here in the Philippines that are affordable. Ateneo de Manila, Ateneo de Iloilo. I know it's affordable. It's like to send your kids there. More affordable than it will ever be, like in the U.S. in a private school in the U.S. And would you really want to send your kids now in America in public school? Would you really? It's like I went to public school Long Beach back in the 80s from 1980 to 84 and 83. I mean, even back then, it's like I couldn't even imagine now going to Long Beach high school, man. Even then there were times where you were kind of worried about your life, being bullied, it's like people got guns and weapons in school. I mean, people in the, I know for sure, it's a public school in America now, you need a metal detector to go in there. So that's got to worry you some, raising your kid there, man. My property tax are $3,000 a year. That's amazing, man. You would, man, here in Numancia, you can buy hectares of land there, acres of land here. You will never pay 1/100 of that amount, Vaughn. It's like crazy amount of taxes in the U.S. Same thing, Vaughn. We are selling the last one. Road to moving back home. Yep. The Basso family is loving and caring. All right, Miss Shipwreck. Thank you. Pinay Heart. Man, I'm going more than normal there. Man. I'm gonna try to. Man, there's so many comments. I'm trying to get through this now. Future farmers. All right, future farmers just went live. So I'm gonna try to end a live stream here. So Levi, you guys can go watch Levi's great new YouTuber, man. I support Levi, man. This guy's a young guy in his 20s, newly married, got a baby even. He's trying to farm here in Malay, in Katiklan, Malay. He's got a lettuce farm. He's got a chicken farm. Check him out. Give him a chance. Levi's a good kid, man. He's a good kid. Good guy. Awesome guy. Wish him the best. So I'm going to end the live stream here. Go ahead and go to Future Farmers of Aklan. Good morning, Gino and all. I must say, my 69 Camaro made me happy every day. I opened my garage. Was hard to be... Yeah, I can see that. That's a collector. That was your baby, man. I'm sure that was your baby. But me, I've never had anything like that, man. I never had anything to where I'm so attached to a material thing. I've never had that. Especially now, man. I can just leave it. I can leave this house. I'm not attached to this house, man. I can move to Boracay tomorrow if I wanted to. Yes, Bun. That's why he's flying. Jack, Mercy, how's it going? All right, Ermil, Pinahard. We also have a son. Okay, Spectrum. Vaughn. A collab with... Yeah, he had asked me, Levi asked me, if you notice, man, I'm not really into like the collaboration, I kind of like doing my own thing, it's like, to me, collaboration takes work because you got to like try to figure out what the other person's doing and all that. I don't want YouTube to become work. I like the spur of the moment, If I'm in Katiglan or they went to Kalibo and we're sitting in the summer and make a video, that's not an issue. But collaborations and all that, man, I'll promote his channel like I am now, so I'm getting off the thing here. So go over to Levi, but I just don't want YouTube to become work for me. Ramil, my son. All right. Take care, everyone. Check out Future Farmers of Aklan. Levi, he's got good live streams. Take care, everyone. Everyone stay blessed.